Hello friends, today I'm going to start the third book in our Ralph the Mouse series, and it's called Ralph S. Mouse. So far we've read The Mouse and the Motorcycle, Runaway Ralph, and now we're starting this one. Chapter 1, A Dark and Snowy Night. Night winds moaning around corners and whistling through cracks dashed snow against the windows of the Mountain View Inn. Inside, a fire crackled in the stone fireplace. The grandfather clock, as old and tired as the inn itself, marked the passing of time with a slow tick-tock that seemed to say, "Wait-ing, wait-ing." Everyone in the lobby was waiting. The desk clerk, the handyman, old Matt, who also carried guests' luggage to their rooms, Ryan Bramble, the son of the hotel's new housekeeper, and Ralph, the mouse who lived under the grandfather clock. The desk clerk dozed, waiting for guests who did not arrive. Matt leaned against the wall to watch television while he waited for the desk clerk to close up for the night. Ryan, sitting on the floor to watch television, waited for his mother to tell him to go to bed, because he had to go to school the next day. Ralph, crouched beside Ryan, waited for the adults to leave so he could bring out his mouse-sized motorcycle. Unfortunately, Ralph's little brothers, sisters, and cousins, hiding in the woodpile and behind the curtains, were also waiting. On the television set, a sports car crashed into a truck, shot off a cliff, and burst into flames. Wow! Without taking his eyes from the screen, Ryan said, "There's a boy at school named Brad Kirby who would really like this movie. He has a BMX bicycle from motocrossing, and his father sometimes drives him to school in a tow truck." A police car followed the sports car over the cliff before Ryan added, "Brad isn't very friendly to me. He's sort of a loner." Ralph was more interested in television than in Ryan's problems. "If I had a sports car like that," he said, "I wouldn't let it run off a cliff." Ralph was an unusual mouse. He had listened to so many children and watched so much television that he had learned to talk. Not everyone could understand him. Those who were lonely children, who shared Ralph's interest in fast cars and motorcycles, and who took the trouble to listen. Other children, if they happened to glimpse Ralph, said, "I saw a mouse that squeaked funny." Matt was the only adult who understood Ralph. "Yes, sir, that mouse is a mouse in a million," he often told himself. Ralph knew there were not really a million mice in the inn, although he had to admit that in wintertime the mouse holes were crowded, because his rough outdoor relatives moved inside to keep warm. Ralph's mother said they were a rowdy bunch that set a bad example for the civilized indoor mice. While Ralph and Ryan were enjoying a commercial from a truck that could zigzag without overturning, Matt strolled into a room called the Jumping Frog Lounge and returned with a handful of popcorn. He dropped one kernel in front of Ralph. "Thanks," said Ralph, who enjoyed nibbling popcorn while watching television. As the commercial ended, Mrs. Bramble entered the lobby. "Come on, my boy," she said to Ryan. "It's past your bedtime. You know the manager doesn't like you hanging around the lobby." "Aw, Mom, just let me watch the end of the program," pleaded Ryan. "I'll leave if any guests arrive." At that moment, the rattle and crunch of a car with chains on its tires was heard. Ryan rose and walked backward out of the lobby so he wouldn't miss the high-speed, siren-screaming chase on the television screen. As he left, he gave Ralph a little wave with his fingertips, a wave no one else would notice. Ralph wished Ryan could stay up all night like a mouse. As the car stopped in front of the hotel and the desk clerk roused himself, Ralph scurried under the grandfather clock to the nest he had made from chewed-up Kleenex, a lost ski lift ticket, and a few bits of carpet fringe he had nibbled off when no one was looking. Beside his nest rested his two precious possessions, a little red motorcycle and a crash helmet made from a half ping-pong ball lined with thistledown, gifts of a boy who had once stayed in the hotel. Above Ralph, the clock began to grind and groan and strike. Bong, bong, as if it had to summon strength for each stroke. Ralph dreaded the sound, even though it was the reason he lived under the clock. The noise terrified his little relatives, who thought the clock was out to get them. As long as they feared the clock, Ralph's motorcycle was safe. The car door slammed. Feet stomped on the porch. When Matt opened the door, he let two people blow into the lobby. A blast of freezing air sent Ralph's nest swirling around in bits. "Never mind," thought Ralph, peeking out at two pairs of boots, the kind known as waffle stompers, which had thick treads that held snow. "Do you have a room for the night?" the owner of the larger boots asked the desk clerk. Let me see," murmured the clerk, who always behaved as if the hotel might be full, even though he knew it wasn't. "Stop pretending," thought Ralph, who was tired of waiting. "Well," the desk clerk ended the suspense, "I can let you have room 207. Just fill out this card, please. Ralph's keen ears heard the scratch of a pen and the rattle of a key. He winced when the clerk banged the bell on the desk for Matt, even though Matt was standing right there, waiting to carry the guests' bags. Okay, we're going to stop there, and we'll finish part 2 of A Dark and Snowy Night the next time.